All right, welcome into WarEagleTV.com, everybody. Doug Holton, along with former Auburn Tiger Brian Brinsfield. Brian, appreciate you joining us today. The big news an hour and a half ago. Finally, after that Kentucky loss last evening, 10-3 to the Cats, Hugh Freeze is let go. He is fired today by Athletic Director John Cohen and others who may be a part of that. Just wanted to get your take on it, first of all, and then we'll get into maybe some of the candidates to replace Hugh Freeze. DJ Durkin was named the interim coach for the rest of the season on Sunday.
Yeah, I think it was time. Not scoring a touchdown against Kentucky. That was tough. But we've got to have probably the worst offense. I know we had you had told me this maybe last week or the week before. We were almost dead last in the SEC and maybe the country in passing offense.
Yeah.
Somewhere, yeah, maybe we've got to be probably middle of the pack in rushing offense. So total offense, we're probably 75th in the 75th percentile, somewhere in there. So, to hire, when you think of Hugh Freeze and the words that go along with the name Hugh Freeze, that before he came to Auburn were offensive guru, offensive genius, quarterback guru, quarterback whisperer, things like that, and it just didn't happen. He's actually got a worse winning percentage than Harsin did when we fired him halfway through his third season.
Yeah, yeah.
So,
and I was standing there last night when he said again, "I want a chance." Whatever he said, I want a chance. Have some patience. We're close. And I wanted to ask, what does close mean? Because
yeah,
that game last night at Jordan-Hare, the defense was close,
yeah,
and pretty good. The offense, no quarterback, no offensive line, one running back, receivers, yes, but we can't get the ball to them. So that's all on him. That's the offensive coach.
Yeah. Well,
So,
you heard my take last night during the game. It was probably the worst Auburn's looked in, I don't know, 25, 30 years. The offensive line, again, not to critique the kids, but just the product on the field was absolutely horrible. Neither one of the quarterbacks had time to throw it. If they could throw it, they couldn't hit, water falling out of a boat. So.
yeah,
It was hard to watch.
very hard. Very hard.
That ball game last night.
So the question is, who's going to take Hugh Freeze's place? DJ Durkin is the interim. We'll talk about some other guys in a second. The ultimate question is, he was the head coach at Maryland for 3 years. He had a little issue there. Pat Dye had a little issue at Auburn that was similar. Do you think DJ Durkin deserves a crack at the head coaching spot, the permanent spot at Auburn?
Yeah, I think I said this a few weeks ago. I think he deserves to be in the discussion, the final discussion at the table, to be the head coach at Auburn. Just from what he's done purely on the defensive side of the ball. I think the kids, I don't know this for a fact because I don't know any of them, but the kids look like they play for him hard. They respect him. Whatever he does on the defensive side of the ball, they respond to, and he's got a good game plan. They execute it, it's not his fault that the offense and special teams puts him sometimes in a bad situation. Let's maybe give the guy a chance. It wasn't his fault at Maryland what happened. And you're right. I mean, it happened with Greg Pratt at Auburn, unfortunately, in the 80s.
Yeah.
And that's just a kind of a freak accident. And let's give him a chance, maybe.
I think he deserves a shot. And here's the other issue: is Hugh Freeze is the fourth coach fired in the SEC this year. Florida and LSU, of course, have fired their coaches, as well as Arkansas.
Yeah.
So there's going to be a little competition there to get these guys. ESPN is naming Clark Lee, Brent Key, Drinkwitz from Missouri, the defensive coordinator from Georgia, which I haven't heard that one yet, And who else did I say? I can't remember the other name that was on there. But anyway, we were talking about James Franklin.
Yeah.
And I tell you where I think Auburn fits realistically, and we've talked about this a little bit, but I like DJ Durkin. I think he's a heck of a football coach, and how he gets that defense to play as
Yeah.
hard and as well as they play with the offense doing what they're doing is amazing to me. So we need a football coach.
Yeah.
And to me, he's a football coach. If you need to hire a PR guy to polish things up, that's fine. I don't know if you need that or not. But the other thing that pops in my head, and I've gotten a terrible response really from Auburn people about this, but the guy who makes Auburn an instant player, I think, and who hired DJ Durkin at Texas A&M is Jimbo Fisher. And Brian, you know, Jimbo wants to get back in the game and would probably do it at a pretty good price because he's got a lot of money.
Yeah, he probably can do it for free. Yeah, you and I've talked about this off air, and I Jimbo was our quarterback coach when I was at Auburn, so I've known him for 30 something years now, but I'll just play devil's advocate. I'll be the side of the coin who says no to that. Jimbo's kind of been irrelevant since 2013, since Florida State won a national championship and beat Auburn that year. That's why Florida State fired him. Texas A&M gave him all the money in the world to go and build their program up. Not only in salary, $100 million over 10 years, but then all the money in facilities, and they were going to build a new stadium, and they did, and all this, and he just didn't get it done in 2 years. I don't know his record, but I don't. I'm not a fan of that choice. If it happens, it happens. But I mean, you've also got, if we want just instant notoriety and instant I don't know what cachet. I mean, Les Miles is out there, James Franklin's out there. Some of these guys who just got fired are out there, and to be quite honest, I don't want either one of them. The DJ Durkin thing is an interesting choice because the kids know him. There's not that much change that's going to happen. Now, I think there needs to be change from top to bottom on the coaching staff.
On the offensive side.
On the offensive side of the ball.
Yeah.
And so it's going to be interesting to see who he gets to be a coordinator. We might want to do a Nick Saban and bring some of these head coaches in and to be coordinators. If they'll do it, I don't know if they'll do it or not.
Yeah, and it'll be interesting to see if he gets this year in the last few games a chance to hire an offensive assistant that he likes to run the offense.
Yeah, I doubt he will. I think the play calling will go to our de facto offensive coordinator. I'm really not looking forward to seeing that happen.
I think we've seen that.
We have seen it a couple times, and but if he stays, I think we've got a better opportunity to keep some of the kids around.
Yeah.
If he stays,
especially the defensive guys,
and depending on who he hires as an OC. And brings in some guys to fill in some positions, some coaching positions. Then we may get to keep some of our good talent. It's always a risk though when you bring in new coaches, because these kids these kids are going through something today. These kids are hurting today because they do have an affinity to their head coach. But they also have a real affinity to their position coaches. So if he does get rid of position coaches, whether they're good coaches or not, on the offensive side of the ball, it does make a big difference whether they may stay or not.
Yeah, and I'll mention this also. Speaking of offensive coaches, a guy I really like, I've always liked. He didn't have great luck at West Virginia. Auburn people probably won't like this either. But he's working with Sark now at Texas and working with Arch Manning, who had a pretty good day yesterday. And that's Neil Brown, the former coach at Troy, former coach at West Virginia. I really think he is a sharp offensive mind and would really make a great combination with DJ Durkin. offense and defense.
Possibly. I mean, Texas has been a little schizophrenic lately.
Yeah.
But we'll see. I mean, there's a lot of pieces that need to fall in place, and we did mention the Lees, and I don't know if he'd leave Vanderbilt. I don't know if Key would leave Georgia Tech. Why would they? Would Braun leave Louisville?
Those are three guys right there. You got Lee at Vanderbilt, Key at Georgia Tech, and Brom at Louisville. They're all coaching at the place where they played or grew up. So they're at home now. I don't
Not,
think they're
not
leaving for Auburn.
not a lot of pressure there either to win.
Yeah.
I mean, you win 7 or 8 games at those places and come in the top third of your conference, and you've got a pretty steady career, and so. But money talks, and Auburn's just an enigma of a place right now. As if you want to come coach, what's the draw? What's the draw at Auburn?
Yeah. I don't know. That's a good question. Um, it's not the highest paying job in the country. Obviously, Hugh Freeze was 40th, I think, in the nation in pay. So they're not really in a position to go crazy pay wise, I don't think. So
Why
I
is
think
that, though?
that's it.
It,
I don't know. We have a $15 million buyout and LSU has a 53. So I'm not sure.
well, we're also paying, I guess, two coaches.
Yeah.
But
Justin Larson.
we've also got the only billionaire, I think, in the Southeast as the chair of the is the chair of
Or the
our
board.
of the board.
Yeah.
So I don't know why we can't come up with more money to pay somebody to come in, and but again, my question is, what is the draw? And I don't know what the draw is other than you mentioned it this morning. We've got an incredible game time show. I mean,
Yeah.
it's a phenomenal game time experience.
Here's the other guy. Here's the other guy. Just thought of it is
Yeah,
Sumrall at Tulane.
yeah, yeah,
And that's the kind of guy I'm thinking of. If you're going to hire somebody young,
yeah,
hungry, wants
yeah,
to get to the next level, he's pretty sought after. So I don't know how much money he wants, but it doesn't. He's turned down a couple of jobs
yeah,
for more money. So that may be a guy that fits in Auburn's thinking in the next week or two.
yeah. Well, and do we do it now? Do we go after somebody now, or do we wait? I mean, you saw what happened with Matt Rule. You saw what happened with them locking him up the other day. I think on Friday before Saturday, that we saw what happened with the Indiana coach because Penn State was going to probably offer him
Yeah.
all the money in the whole wide world.
We haven't seen anybody really go after James Franklin yet. I don't that we know of.
Not that we know of.
Yeah.
And that bodes the question why.
Hmm.
Why not?
Can win the big one is the
Can
obvious answer there, I think.
Well, yeah, and same with LSU's coach. He couldn't do it at Notre Dame, couldn't get it done at LSU. What about? I mean, I've seen for LSU, Coach O. Do you bring Coach O to Auburn?
That's
No,
why they hired Kelly to get rid of that
that's right.
personality, I think.
But I
So
think they're
no, I
but
don't
they're
think
even
anybody's
talking.
going to hire Coach O as a
Yeah,
head coach.
yeah,
So I would think that's out of the question. But anyway, those are the names being tossed around right now. Hugh Freeze is out at Auburn. And if you have some thoughts, of course, you can join us on our social media YouTube channel. And our X page is at TV_War Eagle. You can find them both on our website, wareagletv.com. And Brian, we'll talk more about this, I'm sure, in the coming days. DJ Durkin with his first press conference coming up tomorrow as head coach.
yeah. If you do have questions or comments, we'd love to answer those and talk about them. So give us something to talk about and answer questions. Please comment if you can.
Sounds good. Appreciate it, Brian War Eagle. And again, join us. War Eagle TV is the website. Brian, we'll talk again soon.
War Eagle, Doug. Thanks.